This is to upgrade the firmware on the FME FCE lock. So I generally plug in the cable from the reader on the front to the circuit board. I plug in a motor or a chassis, and then I plug in the battery. I do that in that order. This is the old firmware. I'm going to update it to the new firmware. I've got firmware 3.71, and I'm going to upgrade it to the 125 millisecond, and that's the one we use for the cylindrical lock. I have a programming key card, and I have a database key card. I have a reset key card, which is this one, and I have a construction key card in order to test the lock when I'm done. And I have a remote control. So the unit's plugged in. The first thing I do is put the database key card up on the reader and leave it there for about a second, and it'll go through its motions. Okay, it'll beep. Then I go ahead and use the program key card. Then I program the remote and the firmware. As long as it's still beeping, I can do the firmware also. So I'm going to use program card. Okay, it's flashing, so I can go ahead and do my remote. One beep, a short beep, and a long beep. And then I can do my firmware, card 1, and then card 2. And it beeps. It usually moves the motor back and forth. So that should be programmed now. Now it's programmed. I have to reset the unit in order to have it in construction mode. So I would go ahead and use my reset card, reset lock to factory mode, push the reset button on the back of the circuit board. It's the one closest to the lever, which would be right down in here. You push, it'll beep, it'll start flashing. You go ahead and put this in there, and it resets it to factory mode. Okay, and we can test that using a construction key card, and that should open and close the lock. And that's resetting the lock to version 3.71 or any type of version with the firmware. Thank you.